take it. Sometimes I just can't take it, and it isn't alright. I'm not gonna make it, and I think my shoes untied. I'm like a broken record. I'm like a broken record, and I'm not playing.
Sometimes kind of easier to talk about things happening in other planets than it is maybe to talk about things that are happening on Earth. You can use, other planets to describe what's happening here in a maybe easier way, I think.
And we've always been fascinated with, we're all fans of science fiction and movies and writing, and it's a great source of inspiration, isn't it, when you look up and when you can actually see the stars and you get a little bit of perspective into how small and sort of finite we are here on Earth. And it's a really useful viewpoint to be able to have. I think, like Johnny says, we wanted to try and get a perspective of seemingly how difficult we've made lives for ourselves here on Earth. And by zooming out a little bit and getting that perspective, it can be helpful to think of things in that way.
Really, from space, you can clearly see it's an oasis, it's a ball, it's self-contained. Everything we have is here. There's nothing else.
Right now, we aren't able to play for anybody on Earth, so we thought we'd just play for you.
I mean, and speaking to Thomas Pesquet on the space station was unbelievable. We've kind of been thinking about the things that he said for a long time, but he put them in such an eloquent way, looking down at Earth and there's no borders, there's nothing, everybody's just together on one big spaceship flying through space.
And we're children of the 80s, really. We were, that was our formative years. We grew up listening to lots of 80s pop music, and so it's deep in there somewhere. They're like nursery rhymes, that kind of, they're embedded in our brains and in our ears, I think. Things like Aha and Duran Duran, and that used those same synthesizers. Yeah, we just had a lot of gear, a lot of equipment around us that was from that era, and it was time to try and use some of them to good effect.
We were in New York last week, and we accidentally played a gig.
Yeah,
some people. It was supposed to be a sort of TV performance of 2 songs in front of like a few hundred people who'd got
tickets and
were
vaccinated.
Yeah, exactly. But then that was in a park. So then obviously loads of other people just turned up. And then suddenly we realized we were actually playing a gig.
Yeah, it was amazing. We were only supposed to do 2 songs, but we got carried away, and so we played a whole bunch more because we haven't played in front of people for such a long time. So it was really lovely. It was a lovely reminder of that feeling.
If anything, we became, we were more grateful for what we do and for having each other. And we're lucky in a way that for a long time now we've been working, because we live in different continents to each other. We've been working separately, and then we get together and work intensely. And so we were able to continue that.
Yeah.
To a slightly lesser extent possibly, but still continue how we worked through the whole pandemic. So we felt even more grateful, I think, that for what we do, having music, having each other, having families.
I think also it kind of reinforced this way of working that we've been doing for the last maybe 8 years or so, which is to work consistently over the times when we're not together. But when we are together, we recognize how important that time is and how lucky we are to have that time. And so we really end up working very hard and so the times that we are together are extremely focused. And that's something that we've always recognized, but it's been especially important in this last year to make the very most of the time that we have together. I suppose that's a really great metaphor for life in itself, really, isn't it? Just, we recognize that we don't have a huge amount of time, and so we want to make the most of it.